Alright, I'm reading the last session finally in Dreams, Evolution, and Value Fulfillment by Jane Roberts, a Seth book, and last session in this chapter that we've been reading on master events and reality overlays. And I'm super excited to finish it. So, session 932, August 4th, 1981. Alright, Seth says, now, again, master events are those that most significantly affect your system of reality, even though the original action was not physical but took place in the inner dimension. Most events appear both in time and out of it, their action distributed between an inner and outer field of expression. Usually, you are aware only of events' exterior cores. The inner processes escape you. Those inner processes, however, also give many clues as to some native abilities that you have used, quote, in the past, end quote, as a species. Those inner processes do sometimes emerge then. Here is an example. One morning last weekend, Rupert found himself suddenly and vividly thinking about some married friends. They lived out of town, separated in time by a drive of approximately half an hour. Rupert found himself wishing that the friends lived closer, and he was suddenly filled with a desire to see them. He imagined the couple at the house and surprised himself by thinking that he might indeed call them later in the day and invite them down for the evening, even though he and Joseph had both decided against guests that weekend. Furthermore, Rupert did not like the idea of making an invitation on such short notice. Then he became aware that those particular thoughts were intrusive, completely out of context with his immediate previous ones. For only a moment or so earlier, he had been congratulating himself precisely because he had made no plans for the day or evening at all that would involve guests or other such activities. Very shortly, he forgot the entire affair. Then, however, about 15 minutes later, he found the same ideas returning, this time more insistently. They lasted perhaps 5 minutes. Rupert noticed them and forgot them once again. This time, however, he decided not to call his friends, and he went about his business. In about a half hour, the same mental activity returned, and finding himself struck by this, Rupert mentioned the episode to Joseph and again cast it from his mind. By this time, it was somewhat later in the day, and Rupert and Joseph ate lunch, and the mail arrived. There was a letter written the morning before, on Friday, by the same friends that had been so much in Rupert's mind. So in this letter, they mentioned going on a trip on Saturday and specifically asked if they could visit that same afternoon. From the way the letter was written, it seemed as if the friends, call them Peter and Polly, had already started on their journey that Saturday morning and would stop in Elmira on their return much later toward evening. There was no time to answer the letter, of course. Peter and Polly would be on the road, it seemed, unreachable by phone, though they had included the number of their answering service and had also written that they would call before leaving, yet no such call had been received. It would be simple enough, of course, to ascribe Rupert's thoughts and feelings to mere coincidence. He remembered the vividness of his feelings at the time, however. It looked as if Peter and Polly were indeed going to arrive, almost as if Rupert had in fact called and invited them. That evening the visit did take place. Actually, some work had prevented the couple from leaving when they intended. Instead, They called later from their home to say that they were just beginning their trip and would stop on their way. Rupert was well prepared for the call by then and for the visit. Now, the visit and Rupert's earlier feelings and thoughts were part of the same event, except that his subjective experience gave him clues as to the inner processes by which all events take place. More is involved than the simple question, did he perceive the visit precognitively? More is involved than the question, did he perceive his information directly from the minds of his friends, or from the letter itself, which had already been mailed, of course, and was on its way to Rupert at the time. What you have is a kind of inner backbone of perception, a backup program, so to speak, an inner perceptive mechanism with its own precise psychological tuner that in one way or another operates within the field of your intent. This is somewhat like remote sensing or like an interior radar equipment that operates in a psychological field of attention, so that you are somewhat aware of the existence of certain events that concern you as they come into the closer range of probabilities with which you are connected. In a certain fashion, you, quote, step into the event, end quote, at that level. You accept or reject it as a probability. You make certain adjustments, perhaps altering particular details, but you step into and become part of the inner processes affecting, say, the shape or size or nature of the event before it becomes a definite physical actuality. For centuries, this is the main way in which man dealt with the events of his life, or tribe, or village. Your modern methods of communication are, in fact, modeled after your inner ones. Rupert's thoughts almost blended in enough to go relatively unnoticed. They were almost innocuous enough to be later accepted as coincidence. They did have, however, an extra intentness and vitality and peculiar insistence, qualities that he has learned are indicative of unusual psychological activity. The point is that in most such cases, the subjective recognition of an approaching event flows so easily and transparently into your attention and fits in so smoothly with the events of the day as to go unnoticed. You help mold the nature and shape of events without realizing it, overlooking those occasions when the processes might show themselves. When they do, you might question, could it be possible that you really were perceiving an action ahead of time? Later, some people more stubborn than others might try to, quote, prove that some events are definitely precognitively perceived. But the point is that all events are precognitively perceived, and that you actually step into an event, become part of it, reject it, accept the certain version you have picked up, in quotes, or exert yourself to make certain changes that affect the nature of the event itself. Even the conscious mind contains much more information about the structure of events than you realize you possess. The physical perceiving apparatuses of all organizations carry their own kinds of inner systems of communication, allowing events to be manipulated on a worldwide basis before they take on what appears to be their final definitive physical occurrences in time and space. Individually and globe-wide, value fulfillment is, in a fashion, the purpose of all events. Value fulfillment, again, is the impetus that drives the wheels of nature, so to speak. As the origin of your world did indeed emerge from the, quote, world of dreams, end quote, so the true root of all events lie in such subjective activities, and the answers to individual challenges and problems are always within your grasp, ready to appear in physical actuality. Seth adds, in the next chapter, I hope to show you the importance of value fulfillment in your own life and give you clues that will allow you to take better advantage of your own subjective and objective opportunities for such development. And that's where it ends. And the notes are not necessary to read, so that was really short. And again, next chapter is chapter 10, the pleasure principle, group dreams, and value fulfillment. I've already reviewed this, and I really think you guys are going to like it. So subscribe and get updates for new videos so that you guys can be the first to hear them. Thank you for watching. That is the end of the Seth book. I am going to insert something. I just woke up. I'm sorry. Whatever. I just put something on real quick and put some glasses on, and it's just, you don't have to watch it, but you can just end the video now, or you can watch it. But it's me basically just giving you guys an overview of another book, that book, on meditation, to see if maybe anybody's interested. So keep watching if you want to see what that video is, showing my mug again, and let me know what you think. So thank you again, all of you. Peace and love. Alright, so I was just curious from my subscribers if any of you would be interested in hearing from this book, The Path of Energy and Expanding Your Consciousness. Obviously, I'd start with the most basic meditation available, and just go right straight to the foundation. And you can see the imagery there. It is giving you an idea of what to think about while you're in that deep meditative state. So what this actually is called is the spiral pillar of light, and it's for centering. And the description says, this meditation activates the boundaries of the aura, creating a powerful circle of safety and healing. The pattern pulls energy in spirals from the heavens to the center of the earth, creating a pillar of living light. This is the center of the storm. The winds are howling all around. Within this space is calm and peace. It is sacred space, a place to go for connection, protection, renewal, and resolve. It is unconditional love. So its benefits are strengthens boundaries and promotes centering, harmonizes the aura and supports spiritual alignment, enhances inner strength and resolve, promotes calmness, inner peace, balance, clarity, and focus. Okay, and provides protection from unwanted influences. So this is a really basic meditation that is good to get down initially. And this is what it says. It says flow pattern. This is how you would do it. You would sit, stand, or recline, and you would visualize yourself standing on the earth. I've done this a lot of times. I love doing this. The earth seems to be so very small when I do it, and I am so very large. But I am typically sitting in, spaghetti style on the earth, kind of hovering a little bit, but I'm sitting on the earth. And you visualize yourself standing or sitting on the earth. And you breathe in deeply. With each inhalation, imagine cascading spirals of light descending into, through, and around you. Obviously, if I was going to do this, I'd have to have like some kind of music going on, make it all peaceful. But then it says, I always like to read it first, you know, because I want to know what I'm setting myself up for, so I can kind of get it down in my head first. Then it says, visualize this energy filling and enveloping you as it descends into the earth. See the light becoming a pillar of safety and healing. Imagine this spiral pillar coming from a specific source in the sky, a star that represents your spiritual source and connection. While suspended within this spiraling energy, invite spiritual guidance to be present with you for the highest and best good. Let the source in the star be your spiritual source, your star. Breathe into this image. Notice your feelings, sensations, emotions, and thoughts. Expand your inner strength and calmness with peace, focus, and clarity. Radiate your energy outward to meet the circumference of light. And then you would merge with the spiral pillar of light, coming into alignment with higher frequencies. So this is like a basic, that's it. That's a basic. And then you can change it. It says you can make variations, such as see the energy as a pillar of light, or eliminate the pillar and imagine a cone of spiraling energy. Does one feel more comfortable? Does one have more energy, strength, or flow? What is activated in you with each? The descending energy can be any color you tune into. Is there a color your body is craving? A specific emotion you want to radiate? Choose the color that magnifies this emotion and create the spiraling pillar of light in that color. When feeling internal negativity, activate the spiral pillar to avoid projecting your emotions onto others in a harmful way or hooking into their energy field and draining them. Let your projections of fear, pain, or anger extend outward to the edge of the pillar. Here they can be absorbed, transformed, and returned as loving self-acceptance and understanding. So that's one. And that's just me giving you an overview. Obviously, I'd want it to be very peaceful and be able to take you guys there, you know what I mean? And there are channels that do this. So this is a Seth channel. However, Seth does talk about, meditating. So I don't know. You guys let me know. Let me know what you are or aren't interested in so that I know. And the next one would be Earth and Sky, which is grounding. And there's the Circle of Life. Absolutely love this one. This is my favorite one. The way that energy just comes and pulls and goes up and around your body on each side. And you're just like radiating this energy. Wow. Going through the core, up through the top, out, energy. And then back up your center, all the way back up and out. And then it starts to spiral. And goes back up into your star and down into the earth. And you're just like, literally, energy coming down, spiraling down. Once you get good at this, and then the earth energy spiraling the opposite direction, and they pass through your body. This is what made me love meditation, because when I finally got that down, I literally felt a pulling on the top of my head. So euphoric, it was incredible. Let me just say. There's no other way to describe it. It's just a pulling euphoria up, like a magnet. Like a magnet was pulling, and you feel your body, but you feel slightly disconnected, almost like you're almost trying to go out of body, but don't. And you just embrace this feeling. So when I meditate, I usually get that back. I get that feeling back. I get that really fast. So practice makes perfect. The more you meditate, daily is recommended, obviously. Excuse me. But yeah, so let me know. And I will oblige if there's enough people that are interested. Okay? So, thank you for watching this little video. And I will be looking forward to comments and suggestions and maybe even some, no, don't do it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just comment.